Hi, I'm Bryan from Field Notes,
And I'm Steve, also from Field Notes.
and we're here today watching our film for the Lunacy edition, which was Field Notes edition 32 from fall 2016. And we are on the moon.
Yeah, was it really that long ago? That doesn't seem.
Yep, it's been a while, I know.
That's
And
crazy.
yet March feels like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
So here is an asteroid falling very slowly onto the surface of the moon.
This falls under the category of Field Notes promotional films where you see the actual product made once and only for a
Yep.
few seconds. There's several of these. I think it's like 50-50 where it's more about the inspiration behind the book, and then we get to
Yeah.
do something fun.
Yeah, it says that we built this giant platform out of plywood and 2x4s and filled it with so many different kinds of aggregate products. We tried a lot of different things. I think it ended up being mostly like Quickcrete, like concrete mix with some sand and gravel mixed into it, because the Quickcrete like made nice dusty explosions, nice craters like that. And then we picked out rocks. This was a highly unnecessary exercise where we sorted the rocks by color and size.
There's lots of, I don't know if playthrough. It's kind of a long one, so it's
Yeah.
you can go back to the beginning, or just let it keep playing. I don't know. This one, I'm not sure. I know we had some other ideas like usual, and we kicked them around, and I forgot. I can't remember. I have notebooks somewhere, Field Notes brand notebooks, somewhere that that had some of the initial ideas, and then I think I had found on YouTube like some faking moon landing kind of stuff, and
Yeah. Yeah, I remember talking about that, and we wanted it.
yeah, and experiments with slow motion things, and I had never shot with a Phantom camera, and so the idea kept going and going and going, and
Right. The Phantom is the slow motion camera, which just needed tons of light, I remember. So we had to rent the
yeah,
camera and rent additional lights just because it needs a lot of light.
yeah,
If you've ever shot slow motion with your iPhone, you'll know that it needs to be pretty bright out for it to look good.
yeah,
And then, I had done for the Expedition edition when the Space Pen came out, I made sort of a fake moon boot print
oh yeah,
for the
that's right.
photograph of the photograph of the Space Pen. So I think we'd had a little bit of experience with fake lunar surfaces before.
Yeah,
But it's kind of funny. Like, I think it actually looks pretty good. I'd be interested in hearing if it actually fooled anyone, because you look at that and that looks like,
yeah,
that
some
looks
of the
pretty
stuff.
moonish. And that looks like a big crater in space, or a big meteor in space, or
I had
asteroid.
that was just shot with black cloth behind it, and I added the stars
Yeah.
later.
The gravel is mostly, we bought some gravel, but I think most of the meteors were just chunks of rock from out by the railroad tracks outside our office.
So I had never shot with a Phantom camera. It was a Phantom Miro, and we decided like, let's do this. And then like everything, if you're not an expert at shooting those things, I reached out to everybody in Chicago, and you had to hire an operator and at quite a bit per day,
Yeah.
of a cost, and also rent the camera, and these cameras are ridiculously expensive, and so I kept hunting around, and I found one in Boston that would ship it to us, and then randomly there was one in like a small town in
Oh, right.
downstate Illinois, and I reached out and I said, "Is your Phantom camera available?" And they went, "Oh yeah, we'll ship it to you," and it was affordable, and so they shipped us this camera, and we had it for I think 3 days. We had,
Yeah.
like got it on Friday or Thursday night, and we had to ship it back by Monday morning, and so we had to do as much as we possibly could. And the learning curve on the thing, it's not just like a point and shoot camera. Like,
Yeah, it was pretty complicated. I mean, if nothing else, just even getting the timing right was super difficult, because you just can't think like that. Like throwing the rock, and you throw the rock and press record, and it still, ends up being 30 seconds of dead space before anything
yeah,
comes in
and
frame.
that was user error, because I realized it pre-records, so it's always recording, and then when you hit stop, it records the last 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And so then we would just say, oh, let's save all those 4 seconds, which has turned into like 3 minutes of footage. And so I didn't realize you could mark in and out points until nearly the end of the shoot. And then it made
I like that shot of Matt with the glass is us shooting up. So like, it looks like that's where the asteroid's falling, but it's just so funny to see how realistic that looks. And
yeah.
And then there's the shot of how it was made.
And it takes so much light. Like you said, those are Hive plasma lights, I think, and we had to go rent those because I own a garage full of pretty powerful lighting, and we got it up there. I was like, you can't see anything, so we had to rent these giant, and even those.
I mean, you can see that's daylight in the window above, and the lights are brighter than the daylight.
Yeah, we had to rent, I think, 4 Hive plasma. I don't know. I'm just looking for where else you can see the setup, but if you're shooting with direct light, it's those are bright. Yeah, so those are the lights back there, and there's the Miro, and it had to be plugged into this monitor thing, and it was a learning curve. It was really interesting. Yeah. And I think we talked about originally, like, do we want to just shoot the?
God, that drill has been in more Field Notes videos than I have. I should ask for reimbursement for that.
I think we talked about originally, like, do we want to just fake a moon landing kind of thing and not show any of these behind the scenes things? And we thought it would I think it started making sense pretty early on, that we should have all this making of thing and seeing it. It was fun. You were just throwing rocks at sand, and then you'd wait 20 minutes to have it render all out and see what you got. And
in another case of doing something practically that would have been far easier to do with special effects, the moon, I think it shows it here, is an inflatable. It was like an inflatable beach ball moon that we bought online, and the idea was to backlight it so it kind of looked luminescent, and that's what we did. But the lights were so hot, it kept melting the ball, so we had to turn that light out all the time. And that would have just been so easy to drop in later, but it just felt more realistic that way. Neat to have that in the shot. I still have that hanging in the photo room.
I think even then
but it's shaped like an egg now.
Yeah, I think even then, we had a bright light pointing at it, and I think I still had to bring it out quite a bit in the edit. And then this was a fun shot of Matt at the end of.
Yeah, I love that shot. That's one of my favorite endings of Oliver.
Yeah, we always try to be a little clever with the endings of these.
Nothing like shooting a black on black book.
So we shot, I think we sort of built the thing all day on Friday, and then shot as much as we could before the end of the day. And then I remember we came back on Sunday and shot for as much time as our families would let us be downtown again. And then I think Monday morning we all rushed in and then shot as much as we could before we had to pack the camera up and send it back.
But that is crazy. It would be neat to see. I mean, this footage is, it just looked so neat. It came out. It's one of the ones where, sometimes you do something and it doesn't really work like you thought it would, but this one kind of came out better, I think, than I expected. It looks really pretty neat. I love that shot. Like that panning over, right there, that looks amazing.
And even then, after I got into the edit of it, we'd shot, I felt like so much, and then we got in it and I had 20 clips to use because you'd set it all up, and then you realized you didn't have, it's all slow motion, but the action, is short. So.
Oh, I think I earlier said that's the moon in the background, but obviously that's the Earth. Thanks, Dr. Science.
I don't remember what the song is.
It'd be good with the Monty Python music in the background.
Do we have anything?
I think that's about it. But that's one of the more ambitious kind of tabletop things we've ever done.
Yeah, yeah. And in part, we took over so much space. I think if we can talk about this, of seeing these guys here, of the shop at Field Notes is right behind where Matt is standing, leaning over.
Oh yeah, and we had it set up for a few days, so we had to cover all that up with a curtain.
So if somebody came by to see the studio, or
Well, we needed the black in the background too, but yeah, we had that curtain all the way around.
well, I think we also put up the black early, thinking like, well, we don't want to see you too far off.
Yeah,
And then you realized how much light the camera needed. That it didn't
yeah, it
really
would have gone
matter.
dark anyway.
Like, even if it was bright sun, like the shot of Matt dropping the wherever that is, dropping it right.
Oh, there, yeah.
There, like his hand is.
His hand would have been in that shot, right? It was so dark you couldn't even see it. Yeah.
We had the light concentrated right there, that it didn't really even matter. Like he's probably looking in the lens, and you couldn't tell. So, but it was an adventure for sure.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
I wish there's a shot in here, I think right here. I wish I hadn't cut out of it as quickly. I was trying to do a match cut with where the rock is and
Yeah.
sort of where your hand is, but
I still have no.
I wish you'd spent so much time setting that up.
I have some good still pictures of it that we never used for anything. I guess we can use them for use them in the.
But it's hypnotic.
We were cleaning that dust off of like the windows and the floor for weeks.
I can't think of anything else to say. It's
Yeah,
fun.
I think that covers it. Yep.
Well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you next Friday.
Yeah.